Say, as you go on your way, that's entertainment.
Hello and welcome to Real Live Entertainment. Today we're going to do a different kind of entertainment segment. I just returned from a vacation in Spain and I'd really like to share it with you. One evening I went to the Miami International Airport and boarded an American Airlines jumbo jet and prepared for our 9-hour flight to Madrid, Spain. The next morning, we arrived in Madrid and found the largest city in Spain, a beautiful cosmopolitan city, and in a modern airport with original paintings on the walls and very modern lighting. It didn't even look like an airport. It was beautiful. We visited both the Prado Museum and the Picasso Museum. The Prado features the work of two of Spain's most famous artists, Francisco Goya and Diego Velasquez, both of whose statues grace the front of the museum. Goya's most famous painting, is the Naked Maja, which caused such a stir when he first painted it that he had to paint the second one, the Dressed Maja. And they now hang side by side at the Prado Museum. Diego Velasquez's most famous painting is the Maids of Honor, where he is in the left-hand corner painting the scene. There are many beautiful paintings by El Greco, which means the Greek, plus masterpieces by such artists as Titian, Rubens, Raphael, and even one magnificent painting by Rembrandt. As if that wasn't enough art for one day, we then went to the Picasso Museum, which features the work of Pablo Picasso, Salvatore Dali, and Jean Miro, all very modern paintings. In between, we got to visit a beautiful church and then spent the evening at a quaint restaurant that was originally a cave, where we had a delicious roast pig dinner, excellent Rioja wine, and were serenaded by a trio of male college students playing music that we all know. What a wonderful first day in Spain. On day 2, on the way to Cordoba, we stopped at a tiny rest stop in a quaint little town called Puerto de la Mancha, where they featured, of course, a Don Quixote statue and tables and chairs under a striped awning. The author, dramatist, and poet, Miguel de Cervantes, is a very prominent figure in Spanish history, and there are statues of Cervantes and his Don Quixote and Sancho Panza in all of Spain. In Cordoba, we visited a cathedral that was once a mosque, so it had both types of architecture, plus a beautiful garden and picturesque streets with flowers cascading off the iron balconies. The next day, we were in Seville, where the lady from the opera Carmen worked in a cigar factory, and that building is real, and it still stands, and is now a university. We visited the Palace de Alcazar, which was founded in the 11th century as a Moorish fortress. That evening, we went to a beautiful restaurant for a typical Andalusian dinner and flamenco show. Wow. Tired but happy, we left the next morning for Granada and the gorgeous Alhambra Palace and Gardens. We thoroughly enjoyed the guided tour and the beautiful sights of Alhambra. After a tapas dinner, we were ready for a good night's sleep. The trip from Granada to Valencia is 344 miles of interesting terrain, including a very famous grove of Valencia oranges. We all know Valencia oranges. We toured a park with very, very modern buildings, beautiful white buildings that are as gorgeous as they are functional. After a traditional Catalonian dinner, we prepared for the last leg of our tour to Barcelona, Spain's second largest city. Barcelona is really beautiful, and some of what makes it so beautiful are the buildings designed by architect Antony Gaudi. Gaudi is Spain's Frank Lloyd Wright, in that he was way, way ahead of his time, as Wright was. He designed beautiful homes for very wealthy people. He designed a beautiful church, which he named the family church, called Sagrada Familia. And he built it for sinners so they would have their own place to worship. And he also designed and built the most beautiful park I have ever seen, called Park Güell, named for the benefactor Eusebi Guell. For me, Gaudi's buildings were one of the very most special highlights of my entire trip. If you ever get to Barcelona, don't miss spending time in Park Güell. It's truly like a fairyland. And so, after a farewell dinner at our hotel, we had a 4 a.m. wake-up call. Could you believe 4 a.m.? And the next morning, we took off for the Barcelona airport and our 11-hour trip home. It's great to go away and better to come back, especially if you're tired but happy with many good memories. We loved Spain, and I hope you enjoy this trip with us. For OCTV, I'm Elaine Kugelman, and thank you for going to Spain with us.
Say, as you go on your way, that's entertainment.